Licensed music has appeared in video games since there was the ability to cram a song file into code. Maybe there's a certain song that just fits really well with your game's theme, or you're just too lazy to hire a composer. With that, there is a pretty strong possibility that that song may be forever bound to the game it appears. Anytime someone hears that song, the game pops into their head. There are quite a few examples from over the years, and I would like to talk about my favorites. Also, as much as I would like to talk about songs like Blow Me Away or Not Ready to Die, those are licensed songs made for video games, so they don't really count here. Along with that, if I don't name an example that you thought of, talk about it in the comments. I think it would be really cool to kind of have just a big old discussion about, licensed songs in video games. But anyways, let's get on to some of my favorites. With the Fallout universe being stuck in the 1950s and 60s, the licensed tracks match that loose time period. Watch anything Fallout related and you're bound to hear I Don't Want to Set the World on Fire by the Ink Spots. This song and Fallout are like damn near inseparable. It's kind of interesting that one of the most iconic songs tied to Fallout, besides one other one that I'll get to in a minute, didn't appear in a series until 2007 with Fallout 3. Though, another song by the Ink Spots, Maybe, appears in the intro of Fallout 1. Quite a few other songs may come to mind. Big Iron by Marty Robbins is another prominent one. It appears on all three main radio stations in Fallout New Vegas. Like, if you're going to be listening to the radio for your playthrough, you're probably going to hear it multiple times. There's also Peggy Lee's Johnny Guitar and Dean Martin's Ain't That a Kick in the Head, just to name a few. Honestly, the song choice is one of the many things I love about the Fallout series. These songs aren't as well known to newer generations, and Fallout can introduce a rather wide audience to songs of the past. Of course, Fallout isn't the only game to shed new light on older music. Many other games have done that. And how about a game that has an older song strongly tied to a third of its story? While in Jacob's region in Far Cry 5, the song Only You by the Platters acts as Jacob's motif. Once you hear it, bad shit's about to go down. You see, Jacob's Seed uses something along the lines of classical conditioning, where you use one thing to trigger a response in somebody. Normally it's associated with dogs or just really any animal, where they can associate a sound to food, so if they just hear that sound, they start salivating and getting hungry. Far Cry 5's case is a lot more extreme, where anytime the deputy hears any form of the song Only You, they go on a murderous rampage. A majority of the time, the song plays while you're being captured by Jacob's Seed. Along with that, there's also a more stretched and reverberated version in the Call the Weak sections. Even the final mission in Jacob's region is named Only You. With how frequently the song appears in the game, it was guaranteed to stick in players' heads. Seriously, go to any comment section of either the song or just a video that features it. It can be completely unrelated to Far Cry 5, but just as long as it has the song, you will see people talking about Far Cry 5. So, funny story, about a year ago I was watching the movie Hot Shots, which is a early 90s parody spoof movie of Top Gun, and in that movie the main character sings to the love interest, and it just so happens the song was Only You, and no joke, I was lying down when I was watching the movie. I damn near shot up out of my seat when that happened. This next example is by far the funniest in my opinion. You see, there is a song that is strongly associated with a rather popular franchise. The catch is that the song was never in any media surrounding the franchise. Of course, I'm talking about Invisible by Duran Duran and its stranglehold on the Metal Gear fanbase. The last major Metal Gear game that isn't a remake or is a disgrace released back in 2015, and Invisible came out in 2021. To how these two got so strongly intertwined, I would say it's a combination of posers, people who have never played the games but still try to make themselves appear as fans, the type of people who can't tell the difference between all the snakes, and people who kind of just thought it fit well, so they put it in all the edits and stuff. Despite it being a rather new song, it kind of sounds timeless. You could tell a fair share of people that this song came out in the 80s and they would believe you. Even though it's a great song, I don't think it's a great example of Metal Gear licensed songs, so let's actually get into the ones that were in in the games. The first one's in Phantom Pain, and if you've played the game, you probably know what I'm going to talk about. Of course, I'm talking about The Man Who Sold the World by David Bowie, and specifically the cover done by Midge Ure. It's the first song you hear upon starting the story, you can listen to it throughout, and the final mission is named after it. It plays a surprisingly prominent role in the plot, especially when it comes to foreshadowing. Funny how this isn't even the first time Kojima referenced Bowie in Metal Gear. For example, in Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, Major Zero can go under the codename of Major Tom, which is a reference to Space Oddity. Anyways, another song associated with the series is Here's to You by Ennio Morricone and Joanne Baez. The song is featured in the opening of Ground Zeroes, the standalone prologue to Phantom Pain. A far more melancholic cover also appears in the credits of Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots. Apparently, this song almost had a far more depressing association with the series. You see, Hideo Kojima originally had Guns of the Patriots end with Snake and Otacon turning themselves into a military tribunal and then getting executed for their crimes. So just imagine witnessing that ending and then being hit with this rendition of Here's to You. The last two songs I'm going to mention are Nuclear by Mike Oldfield, which appeared in Phantom Pain promotional material, and Way to Fall by Star Sailor, which was in the credits of Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. As you're wandering through post-apocalyptic America to deliver cargo and make connections, you may occasionally be graced by a song by Low Roar. A good chunk of their songs are in the game, with nearly 20 songs across 3 albums being in the game. Some examples are Don't Be So Serious playing during your first delivery, and I'll Keep Coming playing during the credits, along with it being in the E3 2016 trailer. Kojima discovered Low Roar by chance in an Icelandic record store and felt their music fit the game's concept. Sure enough, it's one of the most perfect uses of licensed music I've seen. Like, there are other artists in this game, like Silent Poets and Churches, but I seriously can't imagine what this game would be like without Low Roar. Alright, for this last part, I'm just going to kind of rapid fire through some kind of shorter chunks that I just still want to talk about. Like, I wasn't going to include any rhythm games since almost all rhythm game soundtracks are licensed songs, but I just have one exception, Through the Fire and the Flames by power metal band Dragon Force. Through the Fire and the Flames will forever be associated with Guitar Hero 3. The game is what jousted Dragon Force into a wider audience. There's a good majority of people who only know that song as the one super hard Guitar Hero song. Keeping it within the metal realm, Shepherd of Fire by Avenged Sevenfold will be forever known as the Origins opening cutscene song to many people. It just makes what's going on in the cutscene 10 times cooler. Whenever I hear the song, I think of the Primus crew slaughtering zombies in World War I. Seriously, hearing this song in that cutscene at like 10 or 11 years old forever changed my music taste. And it probably did for a lot of people. Just imagine how many people got into Avenged Sevenfold just because of this cutscene. I would know because I'm one of those people. This next one's a little more random, but I feel like this goes for anybody who's played this game, but hearing Paradise City by Guns N' Roses, all I think of is Burnout Paradise. I mean, it's especially hard not to since both of them have paradise in the name. Couldn't have been more perfect. Lastly, there's 2 songs. There's Music Sounds Better With You by Stardust and Midnight City by M83, both of which are in Grand Theft Auto 5. Both of these songs feature on the radio, and I don't even feel like I need to describe them because even if you don't know them by name, you will probably recognize them by sound. Also, fun fact, one of the 3 people that made Music Sounds Better With You was Thomas from Daft Punk, the Silver Robot. And that's about it for this video. This is the first of probably a few remaster videos where I'm going to kind of go back and remake a few of my video essays. This one obviously was going to be the easiest because it was the shortest. But yeah, I went back, added some new info, and while I'm here, I'm going to mention a few songs that people in the comments of the original version of this video mentioned. First up is Hi-Fi Rush using both 1 Million by 9 Inch Nails and Lonely Boy by the Black Keys. Nine Thou, the Superstar remix by Styles of Beyond, which is in Need for Speed Most Wanted. I need to get to those games at some point. I own them from my dad's old PlayStation 2 collection, and also he's just a huge fan of those games. And I also really like games that are similar, like Burnout, so I feel like I would like these games. I mentioned it earlier in my brief GTA section, but Midnight City by M83, Future Days by Pearl Jam, which appears in The Last of Us Part 2, along with the second season of the HBO show. There's also the heaps of licensed licensed songs in the Tony Hawk games. The example my friend used was Tony Hawk's Proving Grounds, which had The Pretender by Foo Fighters. And lastly, Unshaken by D'Angelo, which appears in Red Dead Redemption 2. Technically, that is a licensed song made for a game, but I do want to get to at some point like vocal tracks and licensed songs for games in a different video, so if you want to see that, I would gladly make that video. So yeah, that concludes all of the songs mentioned in the comment section of the original video. As I encouraged earlier, feel free to talk about your favorite examples of licensed music in games. Either it be your own kind of personal example, or it be something more broad. Whatever it is, feel free to talk about it. So yeah, that'll be it for this video. Until next time.